Welcome to Brentocast-23. 22 was a bit of an anomaly as I was at the beach, and it only lasted like 6 minutes and 1 second, I guess, while I was walking around and realizing that it was way too loud from the wind and everything to give a full podcast on my birthday, back on November the 5th. So it's several weeks later now. We've come home from vacation, and we've gotten back to the business of being busy. Holiday season is upon us, and as it so happens, my production work on other people's music has ramped up, as well as putting together my first ever real Christmas show, meaning just Christmas-themed music only. Pretty tough to put enough for like a 3-hour show together in the limited time we have to rehearse it. And of course, it means putting a pause on the preparation of our other music for shows. Of course, we've pretty much learned our current show set since we've been doing it for just over a year now. Did some practices with Harrison and Tony. Tony's going to do some flute music for us, which is kind of cool, but it does require me to change the key of several of the tunes that I'd already been rehearsing. No big deal. We got 2 more practices for that before our first performance, which will be December 3rd, which is also the same day as Baden Fest. Here in Baden, we'll be at Loafers and Legends, which is our main place that we play. And it'll be interesting to see if that's a kind of a dud or not, because there'll be tons of people down here presumably walking the streets because they're blocking off Falls Road, which goes right in front of the restaurant that we're going to be playing in, so we'll see. But as for today, it is Thursday, and it is absolutely beautiful, 47 degrees, a little on the brisk side, and I'm about to pick up Delilah, but as it so happened, when I came out here to get my oil changed at Terry's Honda, it's very close to Baden, and turns out he was just about to go to lunch. So I got to kill another 40 minutes before I go back, get my oil changed, then go grab Delilah. Then we're going to do something, probably go to a park for a minute or two. And then I think we're going to go visit one of my clients' horse facilities where they train horses and put her on the back of a big horse for the first time. So I'm kind of excited about that. Additionally, I've recently discovered that it is available, the opportunity to put Delilah into basketball. Who knew they had a little kids basketball league? So she's only 3.5, but my plan for her is to keep her little self busy, because idle hands are the devil's workshop, and we all know this from experience raising our own kids. The more stuff they have going on, the better they do, and that is my plan for her. I mean, she's already got gymnastics. You know, she has her pre-K 2 days a week. She's going to have music lessons when she's old enough to. I may even start that myself before she's old enough to be formally put into lessons. And then, you know, some sort of sports most of the year. They have soccer in the summer, and I think they have basketball, and then maybe one other thing. I'm not sure. We'll figure that out. But swimming lessons is another thing they do up there. But anyway, so we'll check on all that today. Hopefully, we'll have Delilah tonight. I think she and I are just going to be hanging out at the play place, aka my studio upstairs, while Nancy goes and gets a haircut. And then we'll have her tonight, and then tomorrow will be Friday, so that means I'll have her Friday, and she will also have gymnastics tomorrow. So anyway, I finished off just about 4 of the songs on the V Hill album, getting some feedback from those guys. They seem happy with what we've done, so that's great. Working on more songs for Ansel, and also now I'm kind of heavy into working on Ansel's TikTok channel, kind of informally, but there might be some formal work to be done there at some point in the future. So we talked about a few things, and I'm kind of getting the buzz back to do some filmmaking, ironically, because tools have become more available, and there's certain techniques that I'm kind of like technique driven now. Like, I find a tool that does a new technique and I really want to use it for something. Like, for example, I have a camera tracking app on this phone, and I'm about to shoot something with it out here by the water, and track some sort of CG robot or something on it, just for proofs that I can do it. And then I can assimilate that into the old toolbox, and when it comes time to make the next music video or short film or whatever, I know that I can call on those skills. One of the things I think I want to do, and this I may find out that I don't really want to do it, but I've got experience animating digitally, but I think what I would like to do is be able to take a character in a show that's actually a stop motion puppet, and ultimately the maker of the stop motion puppet do some magic or something that brings it to life, and then of course it doesn't act the way that he wants it to, and it becomes this vengeful toy, but it becomes life-size or something. I don't know. It just seems quirky and goofy and fun, like a full moon film, and I haven't written the idea. I mean, I've concepted the idea. I haven't written it. But it's really kind of getting my my yen to do a short film back. And, I mean, the power in our hands with an iPhone, a modern iPhone, is so much better than the, commercial and some of the professional camcorders that we had back in the day. So it's crazy that I would just, let all those interests fall to the wayside, which, when Mutantville broke up, and then later on I kind of become at odds with JT and don't really communicate with him anymore to speak of. I kind of got just aggravated with the whole thing. I'm like, man, I wasted a long time learning these skills, and it ultimately never went anywhere. I don't want to waste any more time on it. Let me move on back to music or whatever. I have so many interests. But, then temper's cool, and, illegally installed presidents kind of, meander into nothingness, and Nancy Pelosi gets fired, and I'm like, it's looking up. But I don't have to be angry about that forever. You know what I mean? And I guess it's just, I realize that, in the case of JT and a couple other friends that I no longer hang out with, it's like, it's okay that we don't have the same value. I think we don't have the same values, family values or conservative values or what have you. I have plenty of people that I am still friends with on the other side of all that have different values than me, and I get along just fine with them. The problem that I have is deception. Somebody going out of their way to deceive me, to make me think that they were, in my camp on certain things, and just to kind of manipulate me to spend my time and my money and my heart and my energy on their projects. That, at the end of the day, I think is what truly pissed me off. And, I think I subconsciously knew this, trying to distance myself from the MVP thing long before we had the blow up, like 4 or 5 years before that. I was like, I don't really want to be a part of this. I'll help you if you need me, but I don't really want to be a part of this, meaning I don't want to put my money into these projects because, I don't have a seat at the table in the creative aspect. I'm just being treated like an employee that doesn't get any pay, or, just an apprentice that's constantly, sort of left out of, and it's not even a credit thing so much as it's just man, if we're both hobbyists doing a thing, let's be cool to each other. Let's have a good time. Let's not make this an ugly thing where one guy has to feel like has to sort of belittle other people. And that's not speaking of anybody in particular, just in general. A lot of filmmakers, you see them thinking that that's the way to make it, is to sort of act with authority. And dudes and girls particularly, I've seen this happen with, my little limited time around the Charlotte Film Society or whatever. Man, it is truly, there is nothing more ensemble than filmmaking, especially at the independent level where you have no money. So for anybody to get an ego is just stupid, just really, really stupid. But for all these reasons, I've gotten out of it. And my few friends that have tried to stay in it, it seems like the availability of people willing to work on it or work for a reasonable price. And, for me, a reasonable price is, hey, I'll pay you exactly what I get paid. You want to come be in this cool movie and have a great time? That's what you get. Maybe I'll provide your food, but I'm not paying no big salary. This is not my job. This is my hobby. So I don't know. Maybe I'm the a-hole and I'm at odds with the world, but I don't think so. I'm starting to feel that, maybe I should just start over with new people and try to find something that I can do to a level that makes me happy, and then just have fun with it again like I used to. I definitely want to I do make a lot of video with my granddaughter Delilah, and as she grows up, I want to do these skits and make films with her riding a dinosaur or what have you. It's just, I don't want those skills to fall completely away. And so you have to kind of keep updating with the latest technology. But I digress. I did stop by Bait and Coffee and have me a delicious dirty chai latte. And don't tell Nancy, but I also had a bite of a oatmeal raisin cookie, which is freaking delicious. Lord have mercy. There's nobody out here on the lake today. Well, that's not true. There are three trailers parked, so that means at least 3 brave souls or out on the water at 47 degrees with the wind blowing, it's probably more like 20 degrees out there. But it's beautiful. Couldn't be clearer. Clear sunny day out here by the parade grounds at the Yakimpedia River Canoe Trail access point by the boat dock. Lovely, 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 lovely. I might walk out here on the pier in a second. Let's see. Going to be back in the studio on the 23rd, the day before Thanksgiving. Finishing up guitars and vocals for the first half of the V-Hill project. Now they're now telling me they want to come back for another half. So I am definitely excited about that. What have I been watching? 2 sentence horror movies on Netflix. Pretty darn cool. Been watching that. Been watching The Cabinet Curiosities, hosted by Guillermo del Toro, one of my, if not my very favorite director. I've recently decided that my favorite film is no longer Tremors, although it's still number 2. My favorite film is now Kingdom of Heaven, starring Orlando Bloom and Liam Neeson. I thought about that film because I recently was able to manipulate the AI and train the AI on images of my father. I only have about 30 decent photos of my dad, who's been gone for 6 years now, and I enjoy bringing him back in my art, and it really apparently annoys my brother, and that's too bad because Chris is really the only person that had the same experience with me. So from time to time when I share this stuff with him, he gets upset with me, and he's like, don't do that, and I'm like, well, dude, I mean, if you don't want me to share it with you, that's fine, and I won't, but you're the only person that I feel like is in the same spot with me as far as that goes, and I do need to talk to him sometime. It can't be like over a text. I got to talk in person about it so he understands where I'm coming from. But where I'm coming from, the man that shaped me into the person that I am, that I love truly with all of my heart, and like to the point where everything I speak, say, and do, he's a part of that. My life would not be what it was, and I would not have been who I am if not for William Bowers adopting me and raising me and being not just a good dad, but a great dad. I'm not talking about the movie dad either. I'm talking about the dad that would absolutely bust your A if you were cutting out of line, and he would give you crap if you were going the wrong way. And that's okay. That's okay. We've gotten away from that now. And the stuff that dad, he would be arrested now if he were trying to raise a kid the way we got raised. But by and large, the upsides were so far greater than the downsides. And, he could be harsh at times, but it was all done with love, whether he was misguided on it or not. It was all done with love. And, I contrast that with the way my other half siblings were all raised. And I think I got the better bargain all the way around. And I don't know how they were raised per se, just certain things that I've noticed, particularly on the maternal side. Those kids don't seem well adjusted to me. So, it is what it is. That's just one guy's opinion. I know I had a half sister on that side that pretty much drank and smoked herself to death in her 40s. So, that's my evidence for it. I wasn't close to them. That said, knowing them has only served to make me more thankful for what I had. And that's what I'm saying, I guess. And being an artistic person that likes to just make renders and photos and pictures and stuff, I made this, I bought on vacation this chainmail headpiece, right? Took some photos of myself and realized that the new engine in Midjourney on midjourney.com would make it look a lot like me, and started making some night-like graphics just based on a head and shoulder shot of me wearing this chainmail. And then I thought, you know what? I had to do something with Dad. And then I trained an AI model on Stable Diffusion on my computer as to what my dad looks like. Got that successfully done, and then was able to generate a few really good-looking likenesses. And I eventually made him a knight, and I put a nighttime scene of Jerusalem behind him. And I brought up some quotes from, the Oath of the Knight from Kingdom of Heaven. It's Liam Neeson's big speech when he's dying to his son that he's just found. and he's wanting to tell him how to be a man and how to be a knight, and basically to be, a person of conscience, and not just say I'm going to do the right thing, but like do no wrong, literally. And although, that doesn't mean don't make any mistakes and don't sin. It means try your best not to, and never willingly do wrong, even if it's in the guise of doing a greater good. Don't ever do that. Speak the truth, even if it leads to your death, and all this stuff, and it's, Dad was pretty much a person of conscience. I mean, and seeing how charitable he was, and how he, lent money to people that he absolutely knew were not going to pay him back, and just to do the right thing, and to be a good person, and, leave this world a little bit better than he found it. I respect that. And just bringing him back, literally, when I got that likeness to look like him, and I saw that graphic was going to turn out good to the point where I'm probably going to put it on a canvas, I got this warm feeling in my heart, and I shared it with family, including Chris. I shouldn't have shared it with him because I know how he is about stuff like that. And of course, he said some really insensitive, jerkish stuff, but that's just how he is. I'm not saying he's a jerk, but I'm saying he tends to communicate like, screw that, that's not what I like. That's sort of his approach. He's a bit of a hothead. But anyway, happy to have that. And AI is changing. I've been saying this on the weekly, like just about every week I discover something else that I can do. And now I'm trying to start using it for VFX in videos again. And on this Sunday, I'm going to go spend time with Ansel at his place in Mooresville, set up his green screen studio so we can start collaborating over the internet. And that may turn into some professional work as well. So who knows? But excited about the idea of doing some in-person songwriting, and also getting him getting kind of back into the flow of the marketing video stuff. That's what his company is a marketing company. So yeah, anyway, that's what's going on. And it looks like we are approaching the end of episode 23. I just want to say that things are going great. Delilah's finally getting used to her pre-K. She's not sick now. She's gotten over her initial colds, and hope we're going to have a great time today. This weekend, we're taking her to the Southern Christmas Convention for photos. And then Sunday, I'll be gone all day to Mooresville to hang out with Ansel and get done whatever it is we get done. Might do a remote episode of Brentocast up there. Who knows? Still looking toward maybe getting a new microphone to be able to do these direct into the PC without having to go through my Zoom. I think there's probably a way to do that without getting a new mic and just kind of going with SLR mics, but it's all technical, y'all, and I have so many technical things in my life. Another thing that I've finally gotten Nancy to agree to is the concept that I'm going to take 2 weeks off and learn Blender and move back into making money as a digital artist. To do that, I need to have all of my responsibilities taken away for 2 weeks, and then I'll be able to put like 8 hours a day. So basically 100 hours, a 100-hour project. I'm going to do 3 tutorials that will teach me the basics of that program to the point where I think I'll be able to start working with it. And I've always wanted to be a modeler, and I think the technology's there. I do have my big screen pad now that I can draw on and sculpt on, so that'll be a boon to that. And I have several tutorials, courses purchased and queued up to do, and it's just finding the time to do it. And when you only have 1 day off a week, it's hard to go in there and be like, oh, well, there's my 1 day off a week. I'm going to just get super focused and do this the whole time. Also, in other news, we might be getting fiber at the store. I think there's a good chance we're going to be getting at the store, which is twice as fast as the internet I have now. And there's a slight possibility we might be getting at the house. If we do get it at the house, I will be setting up an office back home once again. I'm excited about that, people. Yeah, because the ability to go somewhere where there's no people and do my work, oh man, that's so different than working at the store where it's just constant distractions. Hey, could you come down and do this? Hey, could you come down and do that? Got to go downstairs for the bathroom. Moving ever forward, always something new to do. We'll be making some updates to the upstairs. Right now, we're just trying to take care of some pay for some other updates that we've done. The new floor in the spa, the new gazebo out front, the deck and all. We've had a great fall season so far. Definitely the pumpkins were a big success. We purchased pumpkins and sold them, and that went great. Hopefully we'll do that again next year. And it's time to get gussied up for Christmas, so we might be doing some lighting out there. Who knows? Who knows what the future will bring? But we're here in the Jolly Holly holiday season in the South, and thankfully the weather is nice for this one. So hopefully that extends all the way through Christmas, and we all have a great time looking at the lights and just enjoying the jolly season. That's what it is with Delilah. She calls the lights the spooky lights, but Halloween, that's what it is. But like Christmas lights, going and looking at those lights is one of our favorite things to do with her when we pick her up in the evenings after eating. So just that's what's going on with Brentocast-23, and hope you guys have a great week. Thanks for listening. Talk to you soon.